Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Let men see, let them know, a real man who lives as he was meant to live. You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all. The best answer to anger is silence. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible. You have been formed of 3 parts: body, breath, and mind. Of these, the first 2 are yours, insofar as they are only in your care. The third alone is truly yours. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being prepared to meet and withstand sudden and unexpected attacks. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Stay calm and serene, regardless of what life throws at you. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. Dig deep within yourself, for there is a fountain of goodness ever ready to flow, if you will keep digging. All you need are these: certainty of judgment in the present moment, action for the common good in the present moment, and an attitude of gratitude in the present moment for anything that comes your way. I learned to read carefully and not be satisfied with a rough understanding of the whole, and not to agree too quickly with those who have a lot to say about something. Life is short. The fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good. We live only now. Everything else is either past or is unknown. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This is the mark of perfection of character, to spend each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, laziness, or any pretending. Every living organism is fulfilled when it follows the right path for its own nature. Your days are numbered. Use them to throw open the windows of your soul to the sun. If you do not, the sun will soon set, and you with it. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. What doesn't transmit light creates its own darkness. If any man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt. Life is neither good or evil, but only a place for good and evil. Ever since time began, people have recognized their true love by the light in their eyes. God only rarely reveals the future. When he does so, it is for one reason. It's a future that was written so as to be altered. Anxiety was born in the very same moment as mankind. And since we will never be able to master it, we will have to learn to live with it, just as we have learned to live with storms. In fairy tales, the princesses kiss the frogs, and the frogs become princes. In real life, the princesses kiss princes, and the princes turn into frogs. Life has many ways of testing a person's will, either by having nothing happen at all, or by having everything happen all at once. In love, no one can harm anyone else. We are each responsible for our own feelings and cannot blame someone else for what we feel. If you want to control someone, all you have to do is to make them feel afraid. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things. No matter how you feel today, get up, dress up, and show up. So you see, good and evil have the same face. It all depends on when they cross the path of each individual human being. People are never satisfied. If they have a little, they want more. If they have a lot, they want still more. Once they have more, they wish they could be happy with little, but are incapable of making the slightest effort in that direction. The secret is here in the present. If you pay attention to the present, you can improve upon it. And if you improve on the present, what comes later will also be better. Feelings do not grow old along with the body. Feelings form part of a world I don't know, but it's a world where there's no time, so space, no frontiers. In order to have faith in his own path, he does not need to prove that someone else's path is wrong. But if you believe yourself worthy of the thing you fought so hard to get, then you become an instrument of God. You help the soul of the world, and you understand why you are here. You can either be a victim of the world or an adventurer in search of treasure. It all depends on how you view your life. Faith is not desire. Faith is will. Desires are things that need to be satisfied, whereas will is a force. Will changes the space around us. We humans have two great problems. The first is knowing when to begin. The second is knowing when to stop. Intense, unexpected suffering passes more quickly than suffering that is apparently bearable. The latter goes on for years and, without our noticing, eats away at our souls, until one day we're no longer able to free ourselves from the bitterness, and it stays with us for the rest of our lives. Talent is a universal gift, but it takes a lot of courage to use it. Don't be afraid to be the best. It's not what enters men's mouth that is evil, said the alchemist. It's what comes out of their mouths that is. Try to find pleasure in the speed that you're not used to. Changing the way you do routine things allows a new person to grow inside of you. But when all is said and done, you're the one who must decide how you handle it. Humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. Do what you will. Even if you tear yourself apart, most people will continue doing the same things. Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power. Whoever does wrong, wrongs himself. Whoever does injustice does it to himself, making himself evil. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible for anyone to accomplish. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Dig within. Within is the wellspring of good, and it is always ready to bubble up if you just dig. Every living organism is fulfilled when it follows the right path for its own nature. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. The blazing fire makes flames and brightness out of everything thrown into it. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? Unhappy am I because this has happened to me. Not so, but happy am I, though this has happened to me, because I continue free from pain, neither crushed by the present nor fearing the future. It is not the actions of others which trouble us, but rather it is our own judgments. Therefore, remove those judgments and resolve to let go of your anger, and it will already be gone. How do you let go? By realizing that such actions are not shameful to you. Time is like a river made up of the events which happen, and a violent stream, for as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place, and this will be carried away too. Death is a release from the impressions of the senses, and from desires that make us their puppets, and from the vagaries of the mind, and from the hard service of the flesh.